Let's take a look at how the markets are performing, and we start off with the JSE that just closed. In a local economic data, we did get producer inflation for September ticking up to 2.3% from 2.1% previously. Looking at how the oil share has performed today, pulling back from that two-day rally that we had seen previously, declining by almost 2/3%. That largely coming from the financial 15, which has declined almost 1.5%. The industrial 25 pulling back by almost 1%, but the resources 10 complex showing a gain of more than 0.4%, backing that trend. Let's take a look at what is happening with the market stateside, and of course quite a lot of catalysts. We did have the Fed last night decreasing interest rates by 25 basis points. We also did have a meeting between US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, their first in-person meeting in Trump's current term, and we did have them reaching a number of agreements. We also did have three of the magnificent seven tech giants coming out with numbers yesterday, and investors were quite upbeat about what Alphabet was able to produce, but not so much on what Meta and Microsoft produced. So quite a mixed picture on that front, and we do have the tech-heavy Nasdaq leading the losses there, softening by more than 0.9%. We do have the S&P 500 giving up more than 0.25%, but backing that trend currently is the Dow, climbing by 2/3%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the European markets. In economic data there, we did get the Eurozone's third quarter GDP actually surprising to the upside. Also did have the European Central Bank giving out its latest interest rate decision, deciding to keep rates steady there. Quite a mixed picture on that front as well, with the CAC 40 leading in those losses, pulling back by almost 2/3%. A slight decrease on the FTSE 100 of almost 0.1%, but on the opposite side of the spectrum, the DAX will actually relatively flat to just 0.01% above that flat line. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Some weakness coming through to the rand, of course, at this time yesterday. It was at 17 rand 10 cents against the US dollar, now just under 17 rand 30 against that currency. The local unit against the pound at 22 rand 76, and against the euro at 20 rand 1 cent. Let's check in on the other currency pairs, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.15. Pound dollar at 1.31, and the yen actually weakening there as we have hit another record high in the Japanese equity market, that just over 154 against the greenback.